Hello, hello, hello.
Hi there. This is
Stanley
Stanley and Otito
from the Grey Couch. And if you see our big mouths, it's because we have our auntie and uncle. You know, in Nigeria, I call everybody auntie and uncle. So these are our auntie and uncle, our seniors, our mentors.
Our mentors, yes.
Pastor and Mrs. Okay, but we'll let them introduce themselves. So, over to
one.
My name is Ayodele Oke, and
able wife of okay.
I love it, simple wife.
And yes, we're here. We've known this wonderful couple for quite a couple of years now.
Not our wedding now.
Watch them get married, watch them have children.
Yes.
I graduate to Grey Couch to the counseling guru. So here we are.
Amen.
Glory to God.
Glory to God.
So,
I said earlier, my name is Tumishe. Thank you so much for having us on the Grey Couch and allowing us to share a bit of our own experiences with marriage. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. So to show you, these people just celebrated their 30th anniversary. So when we say that they are seasoned, it's not a joke.
Yes, that's 3-0. No, not
3-0.
3-0. 3 decades.
3-0. Yep. So for the topics selected, right, I think that they can speak to almost all of the topics that we have. But for the key ones, we're going to focus on communication, parenting, role of faith or religion, and community. So we'll start with communication.
Okay. We're jumping right in. So this question, my first question is, what is your 30 years of marriage? What's your secret sauce for marital communication after 30 years? What's something that you wish you had done in your younger years that you can pass along to us? And what's something you're happy that you continue to do? We have a saying in back home that when an elder sits down and sees something, if a young person climbs a chair or a table and looks, they still won't see what that person is saying sitting down. Food for thought.
So tell us, secret sauce, something you wish you had done more in the younger years of marriage, and what's something that you are glad that you're still doing?
Probably gone on vacation and spent time together. We started having babies right from the first year of marriage. So, right? So,
Yeah.
I don't think we had our first vacation until maybe like almost 15 years into the marriage.
Wow.
We never even had a honeymoon. Wow. So we do wish we had done that. We started doing that now, and every time we come back, we're always refreshed. I don't know. What do you think?
I do love it when we go away for a while. We can't go for long periods, but because of commitments, but we do manage to enjoy ourselves, and sometimes I feel like staying and not coming back.
I'm not coming back, right?
It's nice. That's one thing I'm really glad that we're able to do now that we're not able to do when we were much younger, and having the kids growing up,
Thank you. I mean, I think that it's possible to see that you can
education.
Yeah. That there's no, you're never too advanced for some of those things that people may think is for younger people, right? I love that you're reclaiming your time. That's what you call reclaiming your time.
Yes, definitely. Yes.
Yeah. So what about communication? What has been your secret sauce to marital communication over 30 years? 30 years. I'm still talking about this 30 years though. We have not even reached half. Yeah.
It is well. Well, you want to talk now?
No, you go ahead.
Okay, you see, that's the secret of the communication. She lets me do all the talking, but then we end up doing what she wants. I'm just kidding. The truth is, as we've grown together, everybody knows what everybody wants. Everybody knows most positions on things. You just find it easy because you don't have any other friends, apart from your spouse. So because of that, we're virtually together almost every minute of the day. Unless once in a while when one person travels, and even when you travel away, it's usually for something to do with the children or maybe ministry work, but we were never too far apart. So I don't know if I can answer the question. The thing is, like, as we've grown close, as we've grown more in marriage, you just know the little signs. Sometimes you look at each other, sometimes you talk, sometimes you quickly go back to the bedroom and close the door and talk. Sometimes they text, sometimes they don't say it on the phone when we see, and so on and so forth. It's the key thing is that there's nobody between us, so it's almost like it's one person. That's the way it has become, to the glory of God.
Antia.
Communication is very key in any relationship. If you can't communicate, then it will be really tough for the couple to get along. So you have to understand your spouse. You also have to be sensitive. As a Christian, you have to be sensitive in the spirit and seek God's face. It's not everything that you just talk about and just bring up like that. You have to take your time to go over it and know the person you're going to speak with. You understand the mood they're in before you say something.
That's true.
And then if something is going on, maybe there's a situation around and it's creating a lot of tension. Even though what you want to say is important, you might tend to defer it, and wait for a better time when you can talk about it. For instance, there was something I've wanted for like over 25 years of our marriage. And yeah. And
have you got it now?
And then I went for a retreat, and it wasn't like it was really a prayer point when I got to the retreat ground, but I was just open to God, that God, I just want to hear you today. I want to, whatever you have to say, just say it. And when I got back home, to the glory of God, it just happened. Like, I said, it took me a while, and I said, God, wait a minute, what just happened here? I've been craving this, and it just happened after over 25 years. I said I couldn't believe it, and it was so impactful on me. And
it wasn't food anyway.
No.
Okay, you said you were craving, so was it?
And it was and it was impactful on our marriage, on our relationship, that I knew that even when you don't speak it out, sometimes God sees your heart. He knows exactly what that's your need and your desire is. And I was really, really glad that happened. So sometimes communication is not blah, 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 It's not so much as the mouth. Communication can be an act. It can be a consideration. Communication can be a gift. And I don't mean like a house, a fantastic gift, a diamond, but you get something that touches the heart of the other person, and it, you see, it will really change things for you. I tell you what, it might not mean anything. We went out recently and we got he was going to get glasses. Now I scheduled an appointment. I said, oh, he too needs glasses. So he scheduled an appointment too. And we scheduled for the same day. So I said, let me go and meet him there. So he will help me choose my frame, because I wanted his opinion on what frame I was going to choose. So I got there 30 minutes before my appointment while he was having his. I started looking at the frames. And, you know, I got my frame, I did everything. And he said, you know what, I'm going to pay everything for your glasses. I'm like, and every time I wear my glasses now, I tell you, I am, something just lives inside. You see, that's what I'm saying. Something just, because it's better than any glasses I've had for a long time. A lot of times I couldn't even read properly for some reason. The doctor never diagnosed it right. But that little thing that he did was just, and I keep thanking him for it.
That's why my tummy is looking like this tonight.
Our able wife.
Oh, thank you.
So you see, that's a form of communication, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because then it breaks down so many things that could come in between the two of you and makes access to one another easier. Because I'm happier because of my.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
I love it. At least you are seeing well now. You are seeing well to feed him.
Oh, I see. Like, nothing on, my God, I can eat anything right now.
Feed him better. So, Antea, there was something you said that I want to take it to a term that I think people might be aware of, but they may not be able to bring the two things together. And that's when you said recognizing the mood, just being sensitive, right? So that's something that we, in our own work, we say situational awareness, right? Some people are just not clued into that. Like, things are going on, it's like they cannot read the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to stereotype, but I think that sometimes women tend to do that more, right? Like, you're just like talking, you know what I mean? You're not even saying, this thing I'm saying, is this the right time, right, to be saying it or bringing it up, things like that. So to hear you say that, that's something that has contributed, right, to successful communication for you, I think is something I wanted to bring out. So situational awareness, otherwise known as discernment. Discernment.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. The second section will be on parenting.
So I'm sure there are a lot of stories you can tell us.
Stories, yeah.
But let me start with this one. So the question has that, how do you rebuild trust in your kids after they have disappointed you? I mean,
but are you saying that because they have adult children and that on the path of parenting, like, things will not go the way that you probably presume that it will go?
Thanks for giving me context. Yes.
Because I'm thinking, if you have it doesn't even have to be adult children. Like, right now, between us and our firstborn child, there's a lot of frustration that we're asking God for wisdom. So I'm thinking, and it's just 11. And I know that you all have adult children. So I think maybe take us through that journey, right? Has it been the way that you envisaged that it would be, right, when you were bringing children into the world? I know you have 4 wonderful ones. So take us through that journey.
You start.
Okay. Children, like they say, children will always be children. They're going to do some things right. They're going to do some things wrong. They're going to do some things and then you're going to scream and you will look at yourself and you say, oh my God, was that my child who really did that? How on earth did that happen, So there's no cookie cutter kind of style of how the kids are going to turn out. It's just the grace of God and the help of the Father that will help you, because as you raise them, you speak words to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
They hear things, they see things, they sense things, they sense moods, they sense changes, they sense the things that are happening around them. And that kind of forms something in their heart and in their mind. And I'm not saying that when a child goes wrong sometimes, that it's entirely the parents' fault. You understand? But the child in an environment, like every individual, everybody has a perception of what they think this is or that is.
Mm-hmm.
So if for any reason, maybe through peer pressure or rebellion or just some reaction or what's that word when you go out, adventure, so let me just try this out and see what it is.
Mm-hmm.
They will do all kinds of things, right? So if your child, for instance, does something that really disappoints you, now you have to be careful how you portray that to the child.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't want the child to go on the far end of, oh my God, I disappointed my family, I can't bear this. Because some can engage in suicidal thoughts of, and say that this is what I did to my family.
Self-harming, yeah.
And harm themselves, You
Mm-hmm.
don't really want
Even
that.
emotionally.
Yeah. You don't want to wreck them emotionally. So you have to maybe sometimes you give a little time, or sometimes you speak to them right away. I mean, depending on the age of the child. If it's a young child, you have to address it right away. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
But as they grow a little older, they need to understand that what they did caused some disappointment for you, and let them see what it is you are trying to tell them. This is what I think you did, because those decisions they are making are building blocks in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's going to form them as they grow up. So you have to let them know what you did. These are the consequences. This is what can happen as a result of what you did. And you have to understand the implications and everything,
Mm-hmm.
how deep down it can go, because of, I didn't really think that far about it, And then they come to realization that, well, I just saw it this way. I didn't know that it could mean that much, because sometimes they don't think too deeply about it.
They don't think things through.
Yeah, they just get carried away and they do it. So you have to turn them around and bring them back to understand that it will be good and it will be a better environment for also if you don't engage in this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You are my child, I love you. What you have done, even though it might be a little let down for me, but I still love you. You have to emphasize the fact that you love your child, and affirm that child that I do love you, and let them understand this is what you did wrong. This is how you could have done it. Mm-hmm. And it could have been a better outcome than what you have engaged in. Mm-hmm. And just use that and pray. Mm-hmm. And let them, explain to them with the word of God and whatever wisdom that you have to let them understand that this is a better way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I would like to add quickly that when they disappoint, it's usually because
we have expectations.
Well, not just that we have expectations, but that they make choices that were not right.
Mm-hmm.
So I think one of the best ways to raise a child is to make them understand that they have different choices in every situation, and by that token also you have different outcomes. So when the outcome is not what you expected, you need to go back and look at the choice you made and ask yourself, the choice I made, was it the best choice I could have made, or was it the circumstances that made me to make that choice, So when they see from a choice and an outcome situation, most times it's not a disappointment anymore. It's a learning, curve, And every situation I've had my kids go through is always a teachable moment for me, until they say, "Daddy, okay, I've heard it." I said, "Okay, but the thing is, you've got to learn from every situation because experience is usually the best teacher." You made a choice, the outcome wasn't what you wanted, or you fell short of your expectation, or what you could actually have achieved with your capacity. Then you need to look at it from a point of choice and outcome. So usually it's not a disappointment, it's more of helping them to understand that the choice affected the outcome. And next time, if you want a better outcome, you probably need to make a different choice or make an increment of your capacity or whatever. Yes.
I like that. The question of choices and outcomes.
I love it. I am taking notes. I'm taking writing feverishly, is how to put it, right?
On legal pad. But I wanted to bring in something. One thing that has been hard for me to accept, even though this is part of the work that I do, is that, with new brain science now, they're starting to find out that children's brains don't develop fully until they're about 25, 26. And you're thinking, that's a very long time. That's a very long time. But I think it's becoming more and more obvious, right? Like maybe for us, maybe it was just a more structured environment and not so much distraction when we were growing up that made it seem as though we were, I don't know, much older, you know what I mean? Because now you're looking and saying, what did you say?
I said no distractions at all. Because
environmentally, I feel like these are all the things that one needs to take into consideration. But yeah, you were.
You've actually answered a follow-up question that I was having, because one of my follow-up questions was, how do you not take it personal? They're your child, you spent all this time, hopefully, living by examples, and then the person comes around and does the same thing, and they will tell you, oh, don't take it personal, no. But I'm honest, between you and me, I will take, didn't we just have this conversation? I mean, if we didn't have the conversation, it's a different case,
And that's going to happen for the rest of as long as you're around mentoring, because I got to mentor them till,
until the last day.
Life,
Our parents are married. My parents are married for 60 years. They're still mentoring me every day. So you can imagine. So they mentor you every day, as if
every day.
Maybe 3 or 4 times a day. So definitely, it's something that is going to be continuous. That's why you cannot hold each and every situation or every occurrence too much. You need to move quickly because the next one's coming right at you, right at you before you even know. Before you, the way I see you holding your head, I think you've had a few situations like that already.
It's like life. It's like a wave,
Yeah.
You don't know what kind of wave is going to hit you the next time.
Yeah.
The fact that a tsunami just came doesn't mean that there isn't going to be another wave, but everything's going to go still for a while.
Oh yeah.
It just keeps coming. It's a small one. It's a big one. It's a little tremor. It's something. There's always something. But how do you live through it? How do you manage it? So you have to, and you can't say you are always prepared. Because one thing I've learned is that you are never like fully prepared. You understand? It's only God. It's God who knows exactly what it's going to be like, and that's why you have to hold on to Him.
Oh yes.
Because you think you have
the base of everything we're saying is the spiritual.
Yeah, you don't have all the aces.
We're saying it, but as you're praying, you're making these moves. But the truth is that the basis is spiritual. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't live in a family that is not based on on God's guidance. Yes.
So my question
Go ahead, please.
is how does it then impact the marriage, right? Because you see, each person may have their own view about, so something could happen and I'll be so hurt by it, and he will say, it's not a big deal, right? So already there's a mismatch. Because I'm so annoyed and I'm like, oh, and he's like, okay, let it go, right? So how have you, I would say, and what would you say to people coming behind to be able to handle it as a couple, right? Unified front, so to speak. How has it been?